The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
I'm telling you, it is absurd. Look, I've been in this game since the Reagan era. I've seen some political theater, but what we are witnessing right now, it's not even theater anymore. It's a goddamn demolition derby.
No, literally, Julian. It's giving end of the world, but make it a fail compilation.
Exactly.
Like, I was looking at the feed this morning, and it's just one long scream. Yesterday, we were talking about the Alex Preddy killing in Minneapolis and how the vibe was already rancid. But today, it's a full-on mask-off moment. Like, we're in our ransom era now.
It is a heavy day, folks. Welcome back to the Neural Left. It's Friday, January 30th, 2026. We are tracking a situation in Minnesota that has gone from a local crisis to a national constitutional meltdown in the last 24 hours.
But before we get into the absolute chaos, we have a quick life update. It took a minute because the internet is a hellscape, but we're officially up and running on our new YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/@theneuralleft, subscribe, ring the bell, do the thing. It's the only way to make sure the algorithm doesn't shadow ban us into the shadow realm.
I'm telling you, I'm getting my makeup done for the cameras now. I have to look good for the revolution, Maya. But look, we have a lot to get through today. From the Fed being under siege to a healthcare crisis that's about to hit 20 million people like a freight train, and we have to talk about this IRS lawsuit.
Oh, the IRS thing is high-key insane. Julian, leave us off on that because it's so much main character energy, I can't even.
I mean, look, can we just appreciate the sheer unmitigated gall of this man? Look, Donald Trump, in his personal capacity, along with Don Jr. and Eric, has filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS and the Treasury Department.
10 billion?
10 billion. According to the reporting from Courthouse News, and this is the kicker, the suit claims the government failed to safeguard his tax data back when Charles Littlejohn leaked it years ago. But think about the physics of this, Maya. He is the president. He's suing the agency he oversees.
It's literally, I'm suing myself to get paid by you. Like, is he trying to ratio the entire federal budget?
It's worse. It creates a conflict of interest so massive, it's making the financial markets vomit. Bitcoin dropped nearly 6% because investors see this and realize there is no floor anymore. He's putting himself on both sides of the negotiating table. His DOJ would technically be defending the IRS against him.
Okay, but also, it's such a villain arc move. Like, he's not even pretending to care about the soul of America or whatever you usually talk about, Julian. He's just out here trying to secure the bag before the midterms. It's so cringe.
It's not just cringe, it's a financial assault on the infrastructure of the state. If he wins or settles with himself, he's effectively looting the Treasury under the guise of a privacy violation.
No, literally. And the timing, right when the Operation Metro Surge stuff is blowing up, it's a total distraction play. Speaking of distractions, let's talk about how the ethical giant is actually just a sweatshop king.
Oh, you're talking about the Nike investigation.
Yes. Okay, breath. This ProPublica report that just dropped is actually wild. Like, Nike has been out here for years claiming their workers in Indonesia and Cambodia earn like 1.9 times the local minimum wage. They've been riding that high horse in their commercials.
Right, the socially conscious corporate giant.
Yeah, except ProPublica and the Oregonian actually did the math, which is a flex, and they found out it's total cap. They interviewed 100 workers in Indonesia, which is Nike's second biggest hub, and not a single one was making anywhere near that 1.9x threshold.
Is that right? I mean, how do they explain the discrepancy?
They don't. In Cambodia, at one of their suppliers called YNW Garmin, they did a full payroll audit of over 3,700 people. Only 1% of them actually met Nike's wage claim, and guess who they were?
Let me guess, the executives?
Ding, ding, ding. Managers, HR staff, the people who sit in the AC. Meanwhile, the people actually making the shoes are getting 53 cents an hour. 53 cents. That's not even a coffee. That's just nothing. It's poverty by design.
It is absurd. I've been saying for years that these corporate social responsibility reports are just glossy fiction. They use these numbers to pacify the liberal base while they squeeze every last cent out of the global south.
And it's not just the wages. One of their primary suppliers, PT Victory Chinglu, just laid off 2,800 workers in Indonesia. Management says orders are down because of quality issues, but the unions are like, nah, you just don't want to pay the people you promised to help.
Look, this is why we talk about labor. It doesn't matter how many cool ads they make with athletes. If you're paying 53 cents an hour, you're not a progressive company. You're a predator. And it's the same vibe we're seeing at home with the education system, Maya. We are watching the deliberate dismantling of the commons.
Oh, you mean the Alaska situation?
Exactly. The Fairbanks and Cushbook school districts just filed a landmark lawsuit against Governor Dunleavy. This is huge. They are suing because the state is literally failing its constitutional mandate to maintain schools.
Wait, didn't a school roof just cave in up there?
Yes, Antioch Junior Senior High School. 50 students had to be evacuated because the roof literally failed. This isn't just about textbooks, it's about physical safety. The lawsuit is demanding an adequacy study, which the state has conveniently never done, to figure out what it actually costs to educate a human being in 2026.
Okay, but why is the state fighting them on this? Isn't helping kids the one thing everyone agrees on?
You'd think, but in this political climate, helping kids is secondary to starving the beast. They want to break the public system so they can pivot to these unvetted AI special education programs, which we're seeing are creating this massive equity gap. If you're a vulnerable kid, you're just getting dumped into an algorithm.
That's so black-pilling. It's like we're replacing teachers with the Matrix and hoping for the best while the actual buildings are falling down. It's a total flop era for public infrastructure.
It really is, and it's not just education. HUD is under the knife, too. A federal judge just had to block an overhaul that would have gutted homelessness services. It's a war on the most vulnerable.
No, literally, it's... You know what else is a war? The grind of actually doing the show independently.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Look, we talk a lot about systems on the show, but we need to talk about labor. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of Eric Christensen. He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please consider supporting Eric's work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
Well said, Maya. Without Eric, I'd just be screaming into my scotch at 9 a.m. alone in my penthouse.
Which you do anyway, let's be real.
I need an audience. Speaking of things that make me want to scream, let's talk about the Federal Reserve. We have a new nominee, folks.
Kevin Warsh? The NPC energy is off the charts with this guy.
He does look like he was grown in a vat at Morgan Stanley, doesn't he? 55 years old, youngest ever Fed governor under Bush. But look, this isn't just another suit. This is a loyalty test.
It's high-key a shadow chair situation. He's nominating him to replace Jerome Powell, but Warsh has been out here doing a total 180 on his own beliefs just to get the job.
That's the most disturbing part. Historically, Warsh was an inflation hawk, the guy who wanted high interest rates to keep the economy disciplined. But the moment Trump starts demanding aggressive rate cuts, suddenly Warsh is all about that cheap money.
It's giving pick-me energy. He's doing whatever it takes to pass the vibe check at Mar-a-Lago. Elizabeth Warren already called him out, saying he's a Wall Street loyalist who prioritized bank bailouts over actual people back in 2008.
And she's right. But it's even weirder than that. The administration wanted this Mar-a-Lago Accord, where the Fed effectively takes orders from the White House. If Warsh gets in, the Fed's century-old independence, the thing that keeps the dollar from turning into monopoly money, is gone.
Okay, but what about Tom Tillis? I saw a thread that he's actually blocking the nomination.
That's the twist. Senator Tillis is out here threatening to block Warsh, not because of the economy, but because of a DOJ probe. It's a mess of Republican infighting. Tillis basically wants a favor from the administration before he lets their loyalists take the wheel. It's total extortion.
Politics is literally just a series of, if you do this, I will let you do that transactions, which honestly brings us to the Greenland thing.
God, the Greenland gambit.
No, seriously, Julianne, Trump is at Davos right now talking to NATO people, and he's basically trying to buy Greenland again, but this time it's tied to this Golden Dome space-based missile system.
$175 billion for a golden dome that Trump says requires right, title, and ownership of Greenland. He's treating a founding NATO ally like they're a landlord that he can just strong-arm into a sale.
Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen was actually so based. He said, we are living in 2026. You can trade with people, but you don't trade people. Like, he basically told the U.S. to stop being weird.
But he's using tariffs as a weapon. He's threatening 10 to 25% tariffs on Denmark unless they play ball. It's extortionist diplomacy. He's treating sovereign nations like vassal states.
It's because he views the whole world as a real estate flip. But while he's out here trying to buy frozen land, people at home are literally about to lose their health insurance.
The subsidy cliff. This is the one that keeps me up at night, Maya. January 1st has come and gone, and for 20 million Americans, the bill just came due.
According to PBS and the Georgetown Center for Health Insurance Reforms, the expiration of these ACA subsidies has caused premiums to spike by an average of 114%. 114%!
It's a catastrophe. A family of 3 making $100,000 a year, which doesn't go far these days, is watching their premiums jump from $300 a month to nearly $600. That is the difference between having health insurance and, well, hoping you don't get sick.
I see. Okay. But 17 House Republicans actually joined the Democrats to pass a fix, H.R. 247.
They did. A renegade group of Republicans from swing districts realized that if they let healthcare costs double right before the 2026 midterms, they are going to get absolutely slaughtered. They bypassed Speaker Mike Johnson with a discharge petition.
But it's stalled in the Senate, right?
It's stalled in the Senate, and the White House is using it as leverage. It's a house of cards scenario. Life expectancy just hit 79 years in 2024, but that progress is about to vanish if millions of people drop their coverage because they can't afford the catastrophic plans.
It's literally choose between rent and insulin, the 2026 remix. It's so grim. Okay, but let's talk about the main story because this is the one where the extortionist diplomacy actually comes home to roost.
You're talking about the ransom scandal in Minnesota. Look, folks, if you only listen to one part of this show, listen to this.
Yesterday we talked about the Metro surge and Alex Preddy being killed. And today we find out it wasn't just immigration enforcement. It was a hostage negotiation.
Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a letter to Governor Walz. This has been confirmed by the Secretary of State, Steve Simon. The letter reportedly, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, offers to withdraw ICE and CBP forces from Minneapolis in exchange for the state's unredacted voter rolls.
No, literally, that's a ransom. Give us the list of who votes so we stop shooting protesters in your streets. Like, that is some actual fascist behavior.
Steve Simon called it jarring and disturbing. It is a direct attempt to interfere with the 2026 midterms. They want to see who's on those rolls so they can challenge them, purge them, or, in the case of Operation Metro Surge, target specific neighborhoods for enforcement.
It's so high-key terrifying. A federal judge actually issued a temporary restraining order on Wednesday to stop some of these raids, but then the FBI raids an election hub in Georgia. It's like they're fighting on every front at once to keep everyone disoriented.
It's the flood the zone strategy. If you create 10 crises a day, the public can't focus on any single one, but the Minnesota ransom is the smoking gun. They are using federal paramilitary forces as leverage to get the data they need to steal the next election.
Okay, so what do we do? Like, the vibes are in the gutter, the government is trying to trade troops for voter rolls, and Nike is paying 50 cents an hour. Is there any W today?
The W is the resistance, Maya. Look at those students in Minneapolis. Look at those 17 Republicans in the House who actually defied their own leadership because they know the people are angry. Breath, the guardrails are breaking, yes, but the people are starting to realize they have to be the guardrails themselves.
No, literally. Like, if you're in Minneapolis today, be safe. If you're striking, we see you. This is the solidarity era, even if the empire is in its flop era.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm telling you, we're in for a wild ride heading into the midterms.
For real. Okay, that's our show. Don't forget to go to the YouTube channel, The Neural Left, and subscribe. We need you there to keep this thing moving.
And support Eric Christensen. He's the reason we have the floor to say these things. Keep the faith, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow to see what other what other action-packed disasters are heading our way.
Good save, Julian. No massive words, just massive vibes.
Exactly. Until next time, stay sharp, stay angry, and for God's sake, keep your eyes on those